Hi all, Mr. Martin here. I wanted to go over this week's agenda for you like we used to do in the classroom itself before we started a lesson. Before I do that though, I want to share with you a couple of things just to make sure that they're clear. First, I wanted to talk briefly about the way the weekly schedule is going to look. My assumption is that most everybody's seen either Mr. D'Imperio's video or maybe what was shared through community email that got sent out. I think earlier this week, and then there was one last week as well. But basically, each day, either two or three subject areas are going to post some learning opportunities. The rationale there is that instead of getting it all at once, say on a Monday, you get it spread throughout the week so that you can kind of pick and choose when to engage in learning experiences. And our hope is that it doesn't overwhelm your families as much. At any rate, Thursday is the day where ELA will get posted. So last night, I put some materials out for the next 7 days. And when you log into the classroom, obviously you're in classroom right now if you're seeing this video, but what you'll see each week on Thursday is you'll see an agenda for the next 7 days. And what I have projected here on the screen is the agenda beginning today through next Wednesday. And again, I'm going to share that with you here momentarily. So every Thursday, you can expect to get a new week's worth of material to engage in for ELA. What you'll also find underneath each agenda when it's posted is you'll find a link to the blog. And when you click on the blog link, it'll bring you out to the blog where you'll see another version of the agenda, but broken up by day. So instead of you deciding when to do each of the items on the agenda, if you're somebody who's not particularly good at budgeting your time or breaking up a big chunk of tasks into smaller units, then click on the blog post and it'll suggest what you could do each day. For the sake of example, if you were to click on the blog post for today, it would say that today you could read for 15 minutes. Whereas when you look at the weekly agenda, it says to read for at least 30 minutes throughout the next 7 days. So again, if you want a more specific day by day list of suggestions, then you can click on the blog, but otherwise you can look at the agenda that'll be posted each Thursday right here in Classroom. So hopefully that clarifies at least a little bit. Something else I want to clarify is that the last few weeks and this week are really about trying to reconnect with each other, through Flipgrid opportunities, through sharing some video with each other. In our classroom, many of you have contributed, and I appreciate it, to the shared Google Doc about what you've been up to. So we've been wanting to spend some time through Google Classroom, reestablishing connections, but also we need to start reestablishing some routines that we have. So when you look at today's agenda, what you'll see is that it's giving you some suggestions for the next 7 days for how to reestablish some routines. So the first item on the agenda says, between now and next Wednesday, try to do some free reading for at least a half an hour. I know many of you have been keeping up with free reading. You've shared that in our phone conversations and such, but some of you have not. So the hope is that these next 7 days, you can pick your book back up. Maybe it's a memoir you selected before we were out of school, but read for a little bit. Find a comfy spot, set a timer, and read for at least a half an hour here in the next week. Second item on the agenda asks you to reestablish your Membean routine. Again, many of you have been keeping up with that. I actually logged into Membean earlier today to look at the stats, and a surprisingly large number of people have still been doing it, and that's awesome. But if you haven't been completing Membean here these last few weeks, try to reestablish that routine by logging in at least a couple of different times between now and next Wednesday. The third item on the agenda says, consider journaling about your free reading experience for 5 to 10 minutes, and that's an opportunity for you to practice some writing. And finally, the last item on the agenda says, consider creating a video for our second Flipgrid topic. And later today, I hope to get that Flipgrid up and posted. So that's the agenda for today through next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, you'll see another agenda for the next 7-day window. So that's how that's going to work. The last thing I want to share here quickly before I run out of time in the video is that all of your learning is what's called asynchronous, meaning you can do it when the time best suits you. If you like working late at night, then log in and work late at night. If you want to do all of your English on Thursday, then so be it. It does not have to be done at certain times, although the blog gives you some suggestions.